Armageddon drillers. In Armageddon, NASA decides it's easier to train oil drillers to be astronauts than to teach astronauts how to drill. The 1998 Michael Bay disaster film follows NASA racing to stop an asteroid the size of Texas from hitting Earth in 18 days. Instead of using their already trained astronaut corps, NASA recruits deep core driller Harry Stamper, played by Bruce Willis, and his roughneck crew, then puts them through a compressed astronaut training crash course. The plan hinges on their ability to land shuttles on the asteroid, drill 800 feet down, and detonate a nuclear bomb to split it in two. The film is notorious for this logic, so much so that Ben Affleck says on the DVD commentary he asked director Michael Bay why they didn't just train astronauts to drill, and was told to shut up. NASA personnel have noted over 160 scientific errors in the film, and it has been discussed informally in contexts about bad science in movies. This is a textbook blockbuster logic sacrifice, where NASA trusts untested civilians with the most complex space mission in history instead of leveraging their own elite astronaut corps. The film has been referenced in discussions about unrealistic disaster planning and is sometimes cited in contexts about risk management. Alien quarantine breach. In Alien, the Nostromo crew ignores quarantine protocol and lets an unknown organism aboard, dooming almost everyone. The 1979 film follows the commercial towing vessel Nostromo responding to a signal on planetoid LV-426, where they discover a derelict alien ship filled with eggs. Kane leans close to an egg. A facehugger launches out and attaches to his face, rendering him unconscious. Warrant Officer Ellen Ripley, acting as Officer of the Watch, cites company quarantine procedure and refuses to open the hatch, arguing that breaking quarantine could kill them all. Captain Dallas and Lambert pressure her to open. Science Officer Ash overrides Ripley and manually opens the airlock, bringing Kane and the organism aboard. Medical examination reveals the creature has highly corrosive blood, making it extremely dangerous to remove. After the facehugger detaches and appears dead, the crew relaxes and allows Kane to eat with them, leading to the iconic chestburster emergence at the dinner table. The xenomorph kills nearly the entire crew, leaving only Ripley alive by the end of the film. Fans often speculate that if Ripley's quarantine order had been followed, the alien threat might have been contained, though this remains debated. This remains one of cinema's most infamous examples of how procedural safeguards can be overridden by emotion, hierarchy, and corporate agendas, with catastrophic consequences that spawned an entire franchise. Prometheus. Helmets. In Prometheus, elite scientists on an alien world take off their helmets, and one tries to pet a clearly threatening space cobra. The 2012 film follows the research vessel Prometheus to moon LV-223 in 2093, funded by Weyland Corporation to contact the alien engineers. The landing team explores a massive artificial structure full of urns containing a black mutagenic liquid and the corpse of an engineer. Inside, environmental readings show a breathable atmosphere. Holloway removes his helmet against prior caution, and others follow suit, discarding a critical contamination barrier in what appears to be an engineer installation developing dangerous biological material. Two crew members, biologist Milburn and geologist Fifield, become frightened and try to return to the ship, but get lost and spend the night inside the structure. In what becomes known as the ampule room, they encounter a pale, snake-like creature, later identified in production materials as a hammerpede, emerging from black goo. Despite its aggressive posture, Milburn coos at it and attempts to touch it like a friendly animal, while Fifield warns him not to. The hammerpede wraps around Milburn's arm, breaks it, and then forces its way down his throat, killing him. Its acid blood melts through Fifield's helmet and exposes him to the mutagen. Fifield later returns as a mutated feral attacker, killing several crew members at the ship's ramp in a chaotic attack. Critics and fans widely cite the helmet removal and attempt to pet the creature as glaringly out-of-character decisions for trained scientists, making it one of the film's most criticized scenes. This sequence has become a meme for scientists acting like horror movie teens, undermining the credibility of the expedition and serving as a case where character decisions feel driven by plot convenience rather than believable behavior. Covenant Planet Detour. In Alien Covenant, a colony ship abandons its carefully vetted destination to land on an unknown perfect planet, with no helmets. The 2017 film follows colony ship Covenant in 2104, carrying about 2,000 colonists and over 1,000 embryos to a planned target world, Aurigae 6. After a neutrino burst damages the ship and kills Captain Branson, the crew intercepts a human signal from an uncharted, apparently habitable planet. New Captain Chris Oram overrides Daniel's objections and diverts the mission to this unknown world, despite the crew having no long-term data on its environment. Upon landing, the expedition disembarks without environmental suits or helmets, trusting basic scans that show breathable air and Earth-like conditions. Two crew members, Ledward and Hallett, unknowingly inhale or step on microscopic spore motes from local fungus-like pods. The spores enter via ear canal and through a cut in his foot. Neomorph creatures rapidly gestate inside them, violently erupting and killing them, then attack and kill additional crew, and destroy the lander in a fuel explosion. These unforced exposure and quarantine failures lead directly to most of the crew deaths and the loss of their only easy way back to the main ship. This doubles down on the mistakes from Prometheus, as a supposedly serious colonization mission abandons its 5 years studied target for an impulse diversion, then exposes itself bare-faced to an alien biosphere, raising serious questions about the credibility of the mission planners. Life quarantine break. In Life, a well-meaning engineer ignores quarantine orders and personally confronts a rapidly evolving Martian organism. The 2017 film follows a 6-person International Space Station crew examining Martian soil samples that contain a dormant unicellular organism they nickname Calvin. Exobiologist Hugh Derry revives Calvin with electrical shocks after a lab accident puts it into hibernation. The organism becomes aggressive, crushing his hand and escaping its containment. Calvin then devours a lab rat and grows in size, clearly demonstrating predatory intelligence. When Calvin attacks Hugh, engineer Rory Adams rushes into the lab and pulls Hugh out, explicitly disobeying quarantine officer Miranda North's orders to keep the lab sealed. David Jordan seals Rory inside the lab to contain Calvin, but Rory then tries to kill it with a handheld incinerator. The creature survives, triggering the fire suppression system and escaping through the vent system. Calvin kills Rory by entering his mouth and consuming his internal organs, then goes on to hunt the remaining crew. Rory's attempt to be the hero, breaking quarantine and improvising with fire, turns a contained lab accident into a station-wide catastrophe. It's a classic science fiction example of individual courage colliding with established safety protocols, and of how trying to kill something with fire can backfire when automated systems are designed without extreme biohazard scenarios in mind. Jurassic Park Nedry. In Jurassic Park, one disgruntled programmer shuts down a whole island security to steal dinosaur embryos. The 1993 film is set on Isla Nublar, where John Hammond's InGen has built a dinosaur theme park controlled by a centralized computer system designed by programmer Dennis Nedry. Nedry is secretly bribed by competitor Biosyn's Louis Dodgson, receiving $750,000 up front with additional payment promised per viable embryo to smuggle out samples. To access the secure embryo cold storage and reach the East Dock unnoticed, Nedry executes a hidden program nicknamed Wait RBT Object that shuts down park security systems, including electric fences, gates, and many cameras, for a timed window. His shutdown occurs during a tropical storm, stranding the automated tour vehicles, carrying Hammond's grandchildren and key experts, right beside the Tyrannosaurus Rex paddock as the fencing loses power. The T-Rex escapes, kills lawyer Donald Gennaro, and injures Dr. Ian Malcolm, while Dr. Grant and the children are forced to flee into the park. Nedry crashes his jeep while rushing to the dock and is killed by a Dilophosaurus before he can restore the systems or deliver the embryos. With Nedry dead and his code obfuscated, the remaining staff must perform a risky full-system reboot, further extending the power outage and enabling more dinosaur escapes until power is restored manually from a distant maintenance shed. Nedry's inside job is the catalyst for the entire disaster, a single point of failure built into critical safety infrastructure, abused for relatively small personal gain. It highlights the hubris in centralizing life and death systems under one disgruntled contractor, and it undercuts Hammond's faith that complex systems can be perfectly controlled. Jurassic World Hybrid. Jurassic World turns declining ticket sales into an excuse to manufacture an untested super predator. The 2015 film introduces the Indominus Rex, a transgenic hybrid created by Dr. Henry Wu by combining T-Rex DNA with genes from other theropods and animals including cuttlefish and tree frogs. Park operations manager Claire Deering and owner Simon Masrani commissioned the creature to boost attendance after traffic declines at the long-running park. Raptor trainer Owen Grady warns that the Indominus, raised in isolation, has no socialization and is unpredictably dangerous. When thermal sensors and cameras fail to locate it, Claire authorizes a team, including Owen, to enter the paddock, assuming the animal has escaped. The Indominus is actually camouflaged inside, kills 2 workers, and escapes into the island. Later, Security Chief Hoskins tries to deploy Owen's trained velociraptors to hunt the Indominus, only for it to assert dominance over the pack due to its raptor DNA, turning them against the humans. It's a perfect corporate hubris combo, engineering a weaponized predator for marketing purposes, then underestimating its intelligence and abilities. The decision to treat the Indominus like just another attraction, rather than a military asset or biohazard, drives the entire park's collapse. Lost World San Diego. In the Lost World, Jurassic Park, InGen decides to ship a full-grown T-Rex into downtown San Diego. The 1997 film features InGen CEO Peter Ludlow planning a Jurassic Park in San Diego using dinosaurs captured from Isla Sorna. A sedated adult male T-Rex and its injured infant are loaded onto the cargo ship SS Venture, bound for San Diego. The ship mysteriously crashes into the harbor pier. The crew is dead, and the T-Rex is accidentally released into the city when port personnel open the cargo hold. The T-Rex rampages through San Diego, chasing crowds, overturning cars, and causing visible casualties, while searching for its infant. Ian Malcolm and Sarah Harding lure the adult back to the ship with the baby, allowing it to be recontained and shipped back to Isla Sorna. Ludlow essentially imports a top-tier apex predator into a major American city for a media event, with no credible redundancy if something goes wrong. It's a case study in corporate showmanship trumping basic risk assessment. Sunshine Detour. In Sunshine, the crew diverts a do-or-die mission to save the sun in order to check on a failed ship, bringing a madman aboard. The 2007 film follows the Icarus II mission to deliver a massive nuclear payload into the failing sun to reignite it. Humanity's last hope after the first mission, Icarus I, vanished. As Icarus II passes Mercury, they pick up a faint distress signal from Icarus I, amplified off Mercury's mass. The crew debates whether to divert, against mission assurances under no circumstances to deviate, or continue straight to the delivery point. They vote to detour to gain a second payload and additional oxygen. Boarding Icarus I, they discover a functional oxygen garden, but a dead, derelict ship and logs from Commander Pinbacker, who has gone insane and believes the mission should fail. Video logs and the ship's condition suggest Pinbacker sabotaged Icarus I, leading to the deaths of its crew, an interpretation confirmed by the director. He secretly transfers to Icarus II, crippling systems, destroying the oxygen garden, and murdering remaining crew members as he tries to stop the second mission. Only through extreme sacrifice do Kappa and Cassie manage to deliver the payload and reignite the sun. The crew's decision is ethically complex. Securing a backup payload and extra resources could increase success odds, but breaking the no diversion rule introduces an unpredictable human factor, Pinbacker, that nearly destroys the mission. It's a strong example of risk-reward calculus gone wrong under existential pressure. By the way, if you're enjoying what you're watching, I create content like this regularly. Subscribing would mean a lot. Interstellar Man. In Interstellar, humanity's best of us, Dr. Mann, lies about his planet and nearly kills everyone to escape it. The 2014 film centers on NASA's Lazarus missions, where 12 scientists are sent through a wormhole to survey potentially habitable worlds, transmitting data back to Earth. Dr. Mann, played by Matt Damon, is described as the most brilliant and respected of the explorers. His world is later chosen as a higher priority candidate. In reality, Mann's planet is an icy, cloud-like world with a hostile atmosphere and no surface conditions suitable for human settlement. Mann falsifies his data and beacons, transmitting signals that suggest the planet is habitable so that a follow-up mission will eventually come to rescue him rather than leave him to die alone. When Cooper and Brand awaken him from cryosleep, Mann breaks down, then insists the planet is viable, even leading them on a hazardous surface expedition. Once Cooper discovers the truth in Mann's lab records, Mann attempts to murder him by cracking his helmet visor and leaving him to asphyxiate on the surface. Mann then hijacks a lander, tries to dock with the main ship Endurance without following proper procedure, and causes an explosive decompression that nearly destroys the ship and dooms the mission. Mann's sabotage forces Cooper to perform a dangerous docking maneuver to save Endurance, which later becomes crucial for the mission's continuation. Mann's decisions epitomize self-preservation overriding a species-wide mission. He is willing to sacrifice the last hope for humanity rather than die alone. It's a rare science fiction case where the dumbest decision comes from someone genuinely brilliant, showing how fear and isolation can warp judgment even at the highest levels of expertise. BTTF Sports Almanac. In Back to the Future Part 2, Marty tries to get rich with a time-traveling sports almanac and hands Biff the keys to a dystopia. In the 1989 film, Doc Brown brings Marty and Jennifer to 2015 to fix their kid's future, warning Marty not to try profiting from future knowledge. Marty buys Gray's Sports Almanac 1950 to 2000 to make easy bets in his own time. Doc confiscates it and tosses it in the DeLorean. Elderly Biff overhears their conversation about the almanac and time travel, steals the DeLorean, and gives the book to his younger self in 1955. The altered timeline creates 1985A, where Biff is a corrupt billionaire who married Lorraine after George McFly's death, turning Hill Valley into a crime-ridden dystopia. Marty's greedy impulse, despite explicit warnings, creates the franchise's darkest reality. It's a neat time travel morality tale. Even a seemingly harmless get-rich-quick plan can have catastrophic second-order effects when history itself is at stake. The Fly Teleport. A drunk scientist teleports himself before fully testing his machine, sharing the pod with a housefly. David Cronenberg's 1986 film follows physicist Seth Brundle, who invents telepods capable of transporting matter between two pods. Early biological tests go horribly wrong, mangling a baboon. After reprogramming, he finally succeeds in teleporting a live baboon seemingly unharmed. His partner Veronica leaves to confront her editor/ex, and a jealous, intoxicated Brundle decides to be the first human test subject immediately, against his own caution about more testing. Unbeknownst to him, a common housefly enters the pod just before teleportation. The computer detects two genetic patterns and fuses them. Brundle initially experiences increased strength and vitality, then gradually undergoes a horrific transformation into Brundlefly, losing his humanity and ultimately begging to be killed. Brundle's impulsive, ego-driven decision to skip safety steps and to experiment on himself while drunk turns a world-changing invention into a personal nightmare. It's a cautionary tale about self-experimentation and scientific overconfidence. Independence Day upload. In Independence Day, Earth's survival hinges on uploading a computer virus to an alien mothership using a 1990s computer. The 1996 film follows humanity's desperate fight against an alien invasion using vastly superior technology. David Levinson, a cable technician, discovers the aliens are coordinating their attack through a synchronized countdown signal. His plan involves flying a captured alien fighter into the mothership, accessing their network, and uploading a computer virus to disable their shields. Captain Stephen Hiller pilots the alien craft with Levinson as passenger. They dock successfully and connect a portable human computer to the alien systems using an adapter. The virus uploads successfully in seconds, causing a cascading failure across the entire alien fleet's protective shields worldwide. This allows Earth's military forces to destroy the previously invulnerable city destroyer ships with conventional weapons. The film provides minimal explanation for how human technology can interface with alien systems, making the virus upload seem implausibly easy. The computer virus plan has been widely criticized by scientists and reviewers as scientifically implausible, representing a significant logical leap. It's become shorthand for convenience-driven plotting that asks audiences to ignore massive logical gaps for the sake of a satisfying climax. If you found this valuable, subscribe so you never miss new content. Thanks for watching.